B. Chile have an old, outdated Pinochet-era constitution, vote overwhelmingly to write a new constitution, elect a left-wing government, reject left-wing proposal in a landslide, elect a right-wing government, reject right-wing proposal in a landslide. Welcome to Chile, birthplace of Gus Fring, and the less relevant neighbour of Argentina. Politically, most divisions and issues can be traced back to El Presidente Augusto José Ramón Pinochet Ugarte, commonly known as Pinochet, who was in essence an authoritarian who had a habit of generously giving communists free helicopter rides. He ran a very right-wing government influenced by the Chicago School of Economics, and despite leaving office, being arrested, and dying, his influence looms large, especially in the form of the 1980 Chilean constitution that remains in place to this day. While Pinochet's legacy is still controversial, people were tired of the old constitution. The 2019 protest movement had supercharged Chileans to support some type of reform. Discontent was high, and incumbent President Sebastián Piñera had a record low approval rating of 9%, which, isn't that bad for a South American leader. So in 2021, Chile went to the polls to elect a new president, which the runoff decided, as usual for South America, would be a communist versus a fascist. Right-winger José Antonio Cast, brother of a key Pinochet ally and son of a literal Nazi lieutenant, ended up losing by 11 points to Gabriel Boric, a socialist Borscht clone who was possibly the most Reddit candidate ever and was a member of Congress representing Antarctica. Moving from penguins to the presidency, Boric took the election as a sign he had a mandate for a radical left-wing agenda. He would hold a constitutional referendum to implement a new constitution drafted by his party. After all, the people voted to remove the old Pinochet constitution. Surely the inevitable tides of history will push Chile left. You see, similar to other nations, Chile's Congress is a silly place. Members of Congress spend their time watching trailers and doing Naruto runs, so when Boric set out to draft his radical constitution and set a date for the referendum, everything went wrong. You see, first of all, the new constitution was extremely vague and long. Compared to the 7 articles of the US Constitution, there were 388 articles in the proposed Chilean one. There were 109 rights proposed, many of which have no explanation or context, leading many to wonder what exactly a right to social media, right to leisure, or right to care is, which was never explained by its supporters. Certain other measures in the referendum were unpopular as well, such as congressional quotas and legal pluralism. But the drama didn't end there. A member of the Constitutional Convention who was responsible for drafting much of the proposed constitution was exposed as faking terminal cancer, which he claimed to have for years and used to push for universal healthcare. Another member of the esteemed Constitutional Convention voted on Zoom while in the shower.
¿Puedo emitir mi voto a viva voz? No estoy escuchando tú.
Apaga la cámara, Nico, porfa.
As predicted, Boric's constitution miserably failed by 24%, losing every demographic. It was Barova. 6 months later, in large part a response to Boric, the far-right party swept the Constitutional Convention elections, enabling them to try their shot at a constitution. If people hate the status quo, and they don't want to move left, then maybe they'll vote on a right-wing constitution. Well, it turns out Groyper adjacents don't particularly have good political skills, so a constitution that eliminated almost all remaining tax, was hardline right-wing on social issues, and was way more radical than the Pinochet constitution didn't play well with voters, especially not with continuous weird gaffes from the right-wing party, like one member of Congress supporting the repeated rape of the constitution. The right-wing constitution proposal was defeated by 11%, leading Chile exactly back to where it started. The power of the referendum had been given to the Chilean people for them to decide exactly what they want, and the answer had been a resounding, "We don't know." President Boric was humiliated, his right-wing opposition was humiliated, Congress was humiliated, the people were humiliated. It turns out, in the end, the true moderate unifier was Augusto Pinochet. The change Marxists just can't beat the Pinochet pill. Thanks for watching.
Augusto Pinochet, le saludo.